right, Jim Martinez with Fight Hub TV here with Robert Garcia. Good to see you once again. You know, I'm gonna ignore what happened before. You know, just walk by past me, pretend like you didn't know me, right, Robert?
Hey, I was told to do that. It's great to be here, bro. You know, Texas always been one of my favorite places to fight, so it's awesome to be back.
Better than California.
Look, I love California, obviously, but Texas is one of my favorite places, you know, for fights.
So fight coming up Saturday
Right,
night.
definitely.
Lubin, two fighters that will put everything on the line. Throwback fighters, really. What are we expecting Saturday night from Luben and Virgil?
A great fight. Lubin looks in great shape, looks very confident. We just had the press conference and he looks very confident. He talked really well. We expect a great fight. Virgil's ready. Virgil's ready to, you know, just like he always is, to put up a show. And like Oscar said, this could be one of those fights that could turn out to be fight of the year. It's a great fight.
Robert, how was he able to focus? You know, how was he able to focus throughout this whole training camp? Where it's, you know, just been the lingering of the talks of Boots in, now Boots in, is going to be there. And, you know, all the tune-up fights, now, you know, he's ready to face them. How was he?
Look, what people don't know and what people believe is one thing that Eddie Hearn could say. You know, we're gonna show up because that's the fight we got next. We already got the contract signed. That's not reality. You know, we know that's all just Eddie doing his job. Eddie's great at what he does. Boots doesn't want to fight Virgil. Boots is not going to fight Virgil next. You know, whatever they say, oh, there's a signed contract already. That's all bullshit. You know, there's Boots is not going to fight. You know, Boots is not going to fight Virgil next. You know, he's going to show up. You know, why didn't they call us up and invite us to his fight 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago? Whenever he just fought recently. You know, you come to ours, we go to yours. We promote the fight. That would have been the perfect idea to do. But you know, they want to show up, you know, and they are going to show up. That doesn't make a difference. You know, Virgil's going to do his job. But, you know, that's just kind of like trying to get the media, the press to believe that they're ready for the fight. I know they're not. I know they already have a date where they already have, you know, a possible opponent already. So it's all part of the show, part of promoting the event, part of promoting his fighter, and Eddie's doing a great job doing it.
Given on Saturday night, after the performance, Virgil, Oscar said that if Boots sees him in person, he's not going to want to fight him anymore.
Especially if Oscar was right. Especially, you know, when he, you know, I'm pretty sure they're going to have him somewhere close to ringside. He's going to hear it. He's going to see it. He's definitely, I'm telling you, he already knows. You know, it's part of the promoting his own fighter. Eddie does a great job at what he does. But I know for a fact they're not going to fight.
And I'm going to say, you know, I might mistake in one word or two here, but, you know, y'all's team overall said, hey, when the Boots fight was offered a year ago, 2 years ago, if I'm not mistaken, let's go, let's get it. But then when it was, if I'm not mistaken, Boots, there was videos saying, oh, we need some tune-up fights.
Exactly. Look, the first one was, okay, well, I'm staying at 147. Remember after the fight that he didn't look too good in his hometown, that he said, oh, it's time for me to move up. Okay, well, then there's the Virgil fight. There's the fight that could happen. But then, I still want to fight at 47. That was one. And then the second time was the same. We won 2 tune-up fights before we go up to. It wasn't just one. It's 2 tune-up fights when we go up to 154. And he already got one out of the way, which wasn't even a fight. Everybody knows. Everybody's seen it. It wasn't even a fight. So he's going to take that second one. I know for a fact he's going to take one more. He's not ready to fight Virgil. At least he doesn't want to fight Virgil because he's a very talented fighter. I'm not saying he's not ready, but I know that himself and his dad, they don't want to fight Virgil next.
How close do you feel like a fight with Terrence Crawford could happen as well for yourselves, for Virgil? You know, if that fight doesn't happen, I know there was fights with Keith Thurman, even one of the Charlo brothers. You know, Crawford's in the mix. You're not thinking too ahead, but do you think
I don't really see
could be close?
I don't see it that being that close because Crawford is looking at you know, as becoming one of the greatest of all times, and by doing that is maybe picking up a title at 160 and being a 6th division champion and maybe undisputed in 4 weight classes, which would be unbelievable, something never seen. So that's probably what Crawford's going to go. I don't think he's going to go down to 154 to try to challenge Virgil, unless we move up to 160. But I think he's going up to the belts, trying to make history, trying to make become, you know, a 4th division undisputed champion. So that would be unbelievable, bro.
Last one for me. The news of Jake and Tank. We surprised of everything was happening. I know people are saying that obviously the situation that Tank's going through, but also that the ticket sales weren't there, the attraction for that fight. You think maybe just the circus of the quote unquote the circus
Look,
of the
just the
fight?
fight, the exhibition itself was a circus, and it's part of the show. At least everybody knew it was just an exhibition. They were not selling it to us as a fight. They announced it as an exhibition, so I was okay with it because it's an exhibition. It's just not, that's just part of what we've seen lately with exhibitions, with fights that don't make any sense. Mike Tyson coming back. Fights that in reality shouldn't even be happening. But it's at least they announced it as an exhibition, which I respected too.
Robert, thank you so much for speaking.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Good to see you again. Okay,
Thanks.
Robert?